Hello, and welcome to the Innovia Conversation. I'm Steve Waltz.
And I'm Jeff Pergelski.
And Jeff, very excited about today's special guest that we have.
Oh, yeah. I heard that it's someone named Doug. Is that correct?
Dougie. Well, it's not named Doug, or she's not named Doug. We got Liz Hallen with us. She is the vice president of Doug. Hi, Liz.
Woohoo!
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the name Doug, although I do have three letters. And Doug, in this case and instance, is three letters as well. DUG, which actually stands for Dynamics User Group. But yes, I'm not actually named Doug, nor do I have any family members named Doug, but it's fine.
Steve lied to me again.
Yeah, thank you both for having me on. I'm honored to be here.
Well, we're excited. We're excited to have you on the Innovia Conversation, and and Doug is, and I'm glad you explained what it stood for, right? Because I think I was on a call with you guys a while back, and you just said it's called Doug, and I'm like, all right, it's Doug from now on.
Doug from now on, because let's face it, there's a lot of dynamics words and community words out in our space and in our industry, and it can sometimes be a little confusing. So we're trying to, set apart for a little bit so that people can understand in a more simplistic way. So Doug is easy. Doug makes it easy.
So tell our listeners, what is Doug?
That is a fabulous question. So Doug is the newest, maybe, I don't know if it's newest, it's newer in our space and in our industry. We're a user group. We're a community of people, like-minded individuals for the Microsoft Dynamics 365, Dynamics GP, as well as Power Platform communities. We have lots of different programs and services to help with people with their bringing people together and sharing best practices and learning from each other in lots of different ways. And so we're very excited to be here. Although we've been technically around since 1995, we have definitely expanded and grown tremendously and exponentially within the last 2 years. We are probably primarily and most famously known, if I can say famously known, for our virtual event as well as the live event called Dynamics Con. That was something that we started a couple of years ago. So happy to chat with you more about some of those things.
Nice. Yeah, when you said Dynamics Con, so by the time our listeners get this, it'll be just finishing up, and so we're excited that you actually took time the week prior to the national conference, and maybe you could talk through what that is, because I remember, I think this might be the third one that I'll be joining, and as a person that came from a non-ERP background, I've been in the channel for 7 years. Jeff's been in the channel a lot longer, but I just remember Tom Doran said, Steve, you need to go to user group events to learn the software. And
yes.
when I attended that in the sessions now, it's great, because a lot of people think, okay, this is only for people that know the software, run it. But I think you kind of cover sessions from, maybe you could talk about your audience, like from maybe a new user to maybe the old vet.
Yeah, for sure. And you're welcome for being here right before the big event. It actually, March 15th through the 17th will be our fourth virtual Dynamics Con event. And really those events were born out of a need of our owners wanting another alternative for community, one that really listened to the community and is providing things that people are wanting. And so, you were asking about content. The content for the virtual event is actually crowdsourced. So I think that's a little bit of a unique position that we have at Dynamics Con. And what essentially that means is anybody in the community, whether you're using the product or you're implementing the product or you're just thinking about it, the content applies. So you can submit session ideas that you have that you think for topics that may be very relevant in this community. So for all of our virtual events, we've opened up a submission period, and then that submission period closes and we allow the community to vote on all of the submissions. And so the sessions that receive the top or the highest number of votes are the sessions that you see on the agenda, the final agenda for those virtual events. And so we're really using that as a platform to really listen to the community with the types of content that the community wants to hear about. And so the audience can be broad and vast. We have over 32,000 members now. Our first virtual Dynamics Con event, we had 6,650 people register. We were blown away. And since then, people have maybe gotten a little fatigued on the virtual events, but we see a lot of technical folks. We see a lot of partners. We're starting to see more end users now. I think that's just sort of the nature of starting this community, is particularly in this space where you have that partner channel. The partners are kind of coming first, but we definitely see some end users as well, and we're continuing to see that user base grow. So we have a little bit of everything for a lot of different kinds of people. So it's a little bit of a hard question to answer, Steve.
Well, no, that's good to hear. I mean, you talk about the voting,
Yes.
and so the user votes. So if Jeff did a session, I would vote all my votes just for Jeff.
Yes, thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
I know you actually. I've one of these years I'm going to crack the top 50 in my attempt at getting a session in there. I'm just kidding. I have not tried, but if I did, I know I could count on your vote, Steve. So I appreciate that.
I got you, buddy. I got you.
Yeah.
It's a fun process. It absolutely is. And you know what? The one thing that is, I think, another thing that's pretty unique about our community is that it allows people that maybe haven't spoken on stage before. And it really elevates them and gives them a platform to speak about a topic that they're interested in. And so it really helps. And one of the things we're pretty proud of is we allow people to really grow their careers with the user group. I know there's a lot of people in our space that use community and use user group to hone in their own skills, to become subject matter experts. And we're happy to be a place and a platform where people can do that.
That's great to hear. I mean, because everybody knows something about something, right? And
Absolutely.
when I came over, I didn't know anything about the ERP world that much, and I was encouraged to speak on sales and CRM topic, and
Sure.
I see Jeff smiling there. And what's interesting is that when you have to get outside your comfort zone to present,
Yeah.
I just remember I must have practiced 30 times, and I just dug and did more research.
Yes.
And then that was years ago. And then I actually did a live demo on CRM with Jeff's help about a couple of months ago, which I thought I would never do. I mean, I was intimidated by the software, but by immersing myself into that. And I'm sure you've probably seen people that were like, and then they start, and then they kind of get that, like a little dopamine hit, like, ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, I like that.
Fun, yeah.
Well, it's fun, but when you hear others saying, "Oh, I like that content. That was really helpful," you're like, "Hey, actually, that it's good to hear," because I think some people are hesitant to jump out of their comfort zone and get involved.
They are. And so that's, part of the submission process and the voting process for our virtual event is we actually reserve 20% of our sessions for new speakers. So people that have never presented to this audience before, because we really want to help people. And that helps to grow this community as well, and have different subject matter experts, because let's face it, we don't all stay here. Although some of us feel like we've been lifers. I feel like I've been a lifer, but it really helps to allow people to grow in their careers.
Very cool. So Jeff, I'll back down from the questions.
No, I thought you were doing a great job, Steve.
Thank you.
So that means I get to ask some questions. So I would say that of the thousands or hundreds or dozens of our listeners that primarily they are they're end users, and so someone who hasn't checked out the Dynamics user group community that much yet, what do you think in terms of beyond Dynamics Con, what is the value for an end user as you see it across the Dynamics platform?
Yes, no, that's a great question. There's so many different choices and options out there. One of the other things that we are trying really hard to do is to offer various different platforms for people to learn. One of the ways is through content and consuming content in a virtual environment, but that doesn't work for everybody, right? Like we're not all, that doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes maybe I just want to ask a question on a discussion forum, or maybe I want to go to a smaller in-person meeting and sit around a table with 30 other people, and that environment is more comfortable for me. And so we've got lots of different programs that we're offering with part of Doug, to really help those different types of learning environments and learning platforms that people want to see. So we do have online discussion forums, which I know for your end user base being primarily Navision or Business Central customers, there's a ton of content out there. We have over 20,000 active users in our discussion forums today. So if you've got a quick question or you're wondering about how another company is doing this process in this way, or how they could maybe be doing it more efficiently, I think the discussion forums are a great place for that as well. You can get to our discussion forums at dynamicsuser.net. I would say the second, probably most popular way would be through our meetups. Now, our meetups are more local, so having local meetings with people that are also using Business Central or one of the other Microsoft Dynamics products is also a really great way to really make those connections. It's a great way to network with other people and really start some more of those longer term relationships. Like I know, I've met both of you at a prior event, and that's kind of where those relationships start. Tom and I go way back as well, and so does Tim and I. And so just getting to know your guys' team and having those face-to-face opportunities have really helped me also, and in other ways. Obviously, the pandemic hasn't allowed our meetups to meet as often as maybe we'd want to, but they do still exist, and would be happy to connect any one of your users with some of our meetups. And I think your team is actually leading a couple of our meetups, which is fun.
Yeah, I heard that. I know Holly is putting together a meeting in the Cleveland, Toledo area.
Right. So you'll have to check that out. Make sure all of your users get to those meetups. In addition to the virtual Dynamics Con event. We've also got a pretty active YouTube channel. So all of our prior content we've had for Dynamics Con, we also post on our YouTube channel. It's a free resource. It's always there. It's super searchable. So if that's the way that you want to learn and maybe watch a video instead or do some consuming of content that way, that is also a place to go. One of the newer ways, we actually launched a TikTok channel not that long ago. So if anybody would love to share a quick tip or trick on their product, please do so and get it posted up on our stream. So we've got just lots of different various areas of ways to learn and network and learn from each other and share best practices.
So Jeff, Are you a TikTok guy?
Do I have to admit that? Embarrassingly, yes. But I think that really speaks to one of the challenges in the channel, as we like to refer to it, that it's, in a lot of cases, it's a lot of old white guys. And I think, that's like, so me being in that demographic, it makes sense. But really, from an age perspective, gender perspective, everything, like it's you have to connect to people on the platforms that they want to connect on, and so I think that TikTok is a great idea. I actually follow someone that a woman who like is an insane Excel master and has really interesting, and she's like grown her business. Like she quit her real job and she just does this full time, and it's great. So I could really see that that taking off, especially as we, Steve, that should be like a requirement for the members of Innovia University that they start to they get a TikTok and they follow Doug on TikTok and
Nice.
I've heard there's
Yes.
a lot of people with really good Excel tips out on TikTok. I'm just starting to get to know TikTok a little bit better. I'm trying.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not a middle-aged white guy, but I'm a middle-aged white woman, so I guess I fit into that, fit into there too. So, got to get TikTok. My kids are on it, so I figure I better at least create an account so I can watch them, right?
Exactly.
Well, if your kids are any good at it, like my kids are, Snapchat and TikTok are. I know my kids are on it. Unfortunately, I'm blocked from their content, but but I know they're on it. So it's occasionally they will share things there, and I think that's something that in terms of sharing, really at Innovia we've always believed. Now I've been at Innovia for 13 years, and the user group community has always been something that we've promoted in terms of the overall value of, adding to the value of the software and the investment in Microsoft. So I think it's great that what you're doing and trying to connect people to on these different platforms because that's, like you said, the whatever way you want. Steve and I had some fun stories pre-COVID when we could, travel to these various user group events, and they were always interesting, whether they were hosted by an end user, whether they were at like some exciting venue like a baseball stadium or a football stadium or a toboggan hill.
Where Tony Darden almost lost a finger. Hi, Tony.
Yeah, so that I'm looking forward to those in-person events as those start to ramp up. I was thinking, Steve, in terms of our sales team and in sort of our efforts to support the local meetups, that do we have a member of the sales team? Am I the only member of the sales team in Wisconsin? It seems like yeah, I might be. So that might be on me to get something together.
Something together in Wisconsin. That's right. And we're, looking to grow those. So if any of your end users or any of your podcast listeners want to start their own chapter in their own meetup group, local group, definitely reach out to us. And we're very open to doing that. Attending those meetups is free. I did want to make sure that I mentioned that as well. Membership to our group is also free. DynamicsCon Virtual is free. So we have a lot of free resources, and frankly, that is huge thanks to partners such as Innovia, who are helping to fund our operational expenses. And so I didn't want to not be on this podcast and not express my gratefulness to you guys and your huge support of the community. We wouldn't be here without you. So just thank you and kudos to you for helping to drive that mission and to encourage your end users to participate in community in the user group, because I do think it's really important.
Yeah, we agree. It's, users helping users is powerful.
Yes, it is.
And it's interesting. I like their business model, Jeff. We're gonna listen to our actual end users on what they want to see and hear, and we're gonna do it for free. I mean, not a lot of business models operate that. That is great. I mean, so if somebody wants to join the user group, it is completely free. And somebody wants to go to DynamicsCon, it's free. And if somebody wants to form a local user group and do those meetings, that's free also.
It is. Yep. We would host you. There is some expense, but we take on that expense. We host the platform. We can help you with logistics if you need help with that. All of our meetup leaders are volunteers. So just needs a little bit of time commitment from your end, but we're here to help you and support you in any way that we can.
And that's all. I mean, that's great because you talk about your YouTube library and just, it's connecting to users. What's that?
Also free.
Also free, right?
The forums are free.
Free.
All of the things we have are free, with the exception of two. And those two would be our Skill Up training platform. So we do also have some on-demand training courses, which some of the courses that are out there are led by someone on the Innovia team. So you guys can check those out. If you've got content you want to share, we can set you up and help you. It's an online marketplace where you can get various different trainings. So again, another learning platform that we have as well. In addition to the TikTok and the YouTube videos, this is a more like in-depth training courses, if you will. The other program we have that has a little bit of a fee to it would be our live event of DynamicsCon. And our next live DynamicsCon Live will be September 14th through the 16th. We will be hosting 500 of our community members in San Antonio, Texas, and are really excited this is going to be our second in-person event. So just super excited to have everybody in person. There's nothing that replaces in-person events. There just isn't. And so really excited to be hosting everybody. And if I'm thinking correctly, I think there might even be a discount for Innovia customers. Am I right?
There is, and we'll share that with their customers. And because the last one was in Anaheim, correct?
It was, yes. Our first event, DynamicsCon Live event, was November 2021 in Anaheim, California. Correct.
That's good. And Jeff, I gave up my spot for our marketing guru, Tim.
You are
that was super sweet of you, Steve.
To go to basically Tom told me that was going down, but I didn't. But I thought I'd get some credit for it because I was supposed to go. Anyway, I'm glad we need, we learned a long time ago having somebody from marketing at those events is a good thing. But I am going this year.
I was going to say, Tom's not going to stop you from going to Texas, right?
That's right. That's right. And so we do have a code. It's called Innovia Invite 15. Is the 15 for like 15%, or what's the 15 for?
I do believe that's what that means. Yes.
Nice. And if you need help spelling that, you'd have to call your account manager at Innovia, or text Jeff, preferably on the weekends. I'll be more than happy to give that to you. So, but we'll make sure you have this. So it's Innovia Invite 15, and I think it's great. Having what you said, being live, it's just different when you're face to face with people, right? You just learn more about each other, and we're and so also one event that you're not sponsoring, but we're sponsoring that you're coming to is coming up in May.
It is
the Innovia Customer Conference. So we heard you and Molly are coming. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Molly and I are coming. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about all of the programs and stuff that Dynamics User Group and Doug is offering, we hope to see you there. We're actually going to be your keynote at lunch on May 5th. So bring your Cinco de Mayo party hats and maybe your margarita glasses, and we'll have a great time, and we'll talk about Doug and all the things that we have to offer for you during lunch. We promise not to present too much time so that you actually have time to eat.
Nice.
But it sounds like we're going to have a table as well, kind of a sponsor table, so we can always have some more one-on-one conversations and get people signed up for the programs that they would be interested in.
Great. And the Innovia Customer Conference is May 4th and 5th.
Yes.
It's 4th be with you, and we got Cinco de Mayo put together there, Jeff. And right now, Jeff, the attendance is breaking records for signups. Isn't that crazy?
Is it really? That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think in all, with everybody there'll be 300 people.
Wow, that's fabulous. Well, I mean, you're hosting it at Notre Dame, so how can you go wrong with that? I'm really excited.
We're a mile south of the Michigan state line, so there's some people that could debate that. but yeah, it's going to be at the football stadium inside the new area where they kind of put a conference center. And so for those that are our clients that are coming, we're looking forward to seeing you. And for those that have been on the fence, Jeff, I think we posted all our sessions on our website, correct?
We have. Yep.
on there, and the sign up is all on there. And Liz and Molly are going to be hanging out for what, at least a day or two, maybe, Molly, or are you there for just a day?
We will be there the whole time. Yep. So you'll see us at the field experience the day before, and we'll be there for the receptions, and we're all in. We're all
Awesome.
in for the customer conference. So yeah, you can.
If there's any questions, Steve at the field experience, Steve and I will be the ones wearing gold helmets. So we've already
Perfect. I
we're
know
ready to
exactly.
Rudy.
I know exactly who I need to come and do the tour with then.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
you see a drone flying.
Oh, I was just going to say, for those in the audience that don't know, the Molly that Steve and Jeff are referring to is Molly Fuschel. Molly Fuschel is also with Doug. She is our president.
Great catch, Liz. So sorry about that,
Yeah.
Molly.
Yeah. Everybody just knows Molly, but I
That's
felt
right.
like maybe not everybody listening to this would probably know who actually Molly was. So wanted to make sure we gave her a little bit of a shout out.
Well, we really appreciate all your time. We know you're busy with DynamicsCon
Yeah.
coming up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for the invite.
And so they can find you on dynamicscon.com and dynamicuser.net. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And are you on LinkedIn, or how could our other users connect with you?
I am on LinkedIn. I am on Twitter. Little bit on TikTok. I'm going to try and be there more. But you could also just send me an email as well. My email address is Liz, Liz, at dynamicsuser.net.
Awesome. Liz, thank you very much. And as always,
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jeff.
and always, you can go to our website, actually under events, like the DynamicsCon Live. There's a link to there, and the Novia Customer Conference. And you can find us obviously on LinkedIn and Twitter. And Jeff, this podcast is over.